Hello again, thank you very much for visiting my channel, Bolton Maverick Outdoors. It's greatly appreciated as always. I'm just going to do a bit of review on a tent I've had for a while. It's a Miltec Recom, well Recom it's called for some reason. Recom 1 tent, and it's a good little stealth tent. It's a cheap tent, but I think it's a really good stealth camping tent. I'm not in a stealthy location today. What you get in it is a bag of poles, which are fiberglass. I really wish I could get some aluminium poles for this to cut down the weight, because these are quite weighty. Get the tent itself in flectine. Well, sort of flectine. Some cheap pegs and some guy lines in there, I think. And inside there's a set of basic instructions. It weighs 3 kilos roughly, 2.7 kilos. It's an inner pitch first, 3-pole design. Good thing is about it, it's freestanding, so you can just chuck it about, get your right position before you actually start using it. It's windy now, so it'd be a good idea to peg it down somewhere. That's the inner up. Pretty straightforward. I didn't really need any guide points on it. I just thought I'd install them today to show you the score. The Miltec Recom 1 tent. It's a cheap tent, but it's quite a strong tent. This tent has got 3 vents. Which can be held open with like rigid strips on Velcro. The inner's just got 1 mesh panel. The rest of it's a fly sheet. There's your bathtub floor. You've got a small porch. It's not much of one. But you've got one. And there's enough room inside it to get you and your rucksack in. You can't sit up in it. You'll have to excuse me because I'm in a country park. It's basically not far from a town centre. And you get a lot of people on motocrossers and all kinds of things flying about on the public paths, but there's not a lot you can do about it, so just put up with it. Sounds like they're coming around here in a minute. So there's a Recom 110 by Miltec. You can buy it for about 69 quid up to about 80 odd quid. I've spent a night out on it in the rain and it did alright. I'm 6 foot and you've got a couple of foot spare at the top, so you've probably got 8 foot of space inside. It's only wide enough for one person. You can fit a sleep mat in it. It is good. It can be tightened down. These buckles have got things they pull tight like straps that pull your fly tight, and it's quite a good tent for the money. You've got mesh at your head, a mesh panel, and a mesh at your feet, which I'll show you in a minute. You've got a couple of little pockets. Well, you've got one little pocket actually. This is still dirty from when last I used it. It's seam taped. And the fly seam taped also. I pitched it out in the open because, believe it or not, when it's in woodland, it is quite stealthy. But it's a good little tent for the money, and I think if we look at Wiltshire Man, he's camped in it in more or less hurricane conditions. Sandy, Wiltshire Man, camped in it in horrendous conditions and it stood up to it. You've got to remember, it's a budget tent, it's really cheap. So it's got a flap over the zip to protect you from rain coming in. But I think it's quite a stealthy tent for the money. You have to put your rucksack inside the tent, there's not enough room in the annex. But what do you think? Nice little stealth tent for woodland. You can get this tent in a few colours. I've got this colour, I forgot what it is, let's have a look. No, it don't say much about the colour, but it's going to pour down in a minute, so. Specifications, when it's set up, 2,400 centimetres in length, millimetres in length, 1,350 millimetres wide, 85 centimetres high. So that's 94.5 inch, 53.15 inches, 33.5 inches. Pack size, 600 millimetres by 150 millimetres, 23.5 inches by 6 inches. 2,700 grams, which is quite heavy. Obviously it's a one person tunnel tent. 100% polyester, polyurethane coated. Hydrostatic head of the fly sheet is 1,000 millimetres. Hydrostatic head of the inner tent is 1,000 millimetres. But I went out in really quite bad rain with it and it didn't leak. The ground sheet is 2,000 millimetres hydrostatic head. The frame's fiberglass, polyester travel bag. Obviously it's a one-man tent. and it's made by Miltec. Now you can get a few colours. You can get just green, woodland, or this, I think you can get a sandy coloured one, I'm not sure. No, green woodland and this colour, whatever it is. Looks a bit fleck tiny, but it's alright. It's got quite a few vents in it. They're good, I like it. You can get a darker fleck tan as well. Really proper German fleck tan, dark. But I picked that because it blends into most of the conditions that I go to. Yeah, anyway, it's just a quick overview, just to let you know there's cheap tents out there that you can do a bit of stealth camping in. And it's going to pour down shortly, so I'm going to start packing up. Thanks for watching. Miltec Recom 110. I wish they'd have called it Recon instead of Recom, but I don't know why, but there you go. Thanks for visiting my channel again, it's much appreciated, and that's just a quick overview of the Miltec Recom 110. Have a look at Wiltshire Man when he's camping in a storm. It'll give you an idea of the how rugged it is. But I use it for stealth camping and it's cracking. Especially if you take a tarp and keep a tarp low over it to give you more storage space and cooking space. But it's a good little tent and it's a bargain, it's really cheap. You know, instead of paying a fortune, it's more comfortable than a bivvy. There's enough room for a full-size herb pad in there and your rucksack. So, there you go. See you soon when I'm out and about. Thanks for watching.